Good morning, friends. Welcome to Astra. This is v.dhanunjayareddy coming out with the daily current affairs. So this is 20th of March 2023. Let's quickly discuss about what are the things that we have in the Hindu from today. Amritpal elusive. Police arrest 34 more followers. We all know that the Khalistani leader or Khalistani preacher known as Amritpal Singh, he has escaped recently from the prison, and there was some under such operations which are going on after him or for him. Now, the state government has taken some measures that they have issued strict actions against spreading fake news and rumors and hate speech. The spokesperson said all citizens, including the media persons on social media platform intermediaries, are requested to act in responsible manner and to fact check the authenticity of the content being shared by them on various social media, electronic media and print media. Now, it is the time for the people to do their duties, civic duties at the highest order in order to ensure that these sedition people who are preaching about sedition should be stopped at the immediate level. So this is what the call that has been said in the front page. This is what we have. Telangana State Public Service Commission starts preparing for new pool of question papers after the examinations were cancelled. So this may go haywire. What is the meaning of haywire? Erratic, faulty, not functioning, confused. So which means in order to prepare that, it takes time. As a result, the schedule might be confused for some days. It might take some time to finalize the exam calendar. So it goes beyond saying that recently the Telangana State Public Service Commission has cancelled almost 16 exams. Now preparing new set of question papers altogether or questions altogether is time-taking process. As a result, this is an indication that TSPSC might not be able to say about the final picture about the calendar when it is going to be announced. Hence, this is a clear indication for all the guys who are preparing for this exam to have some alternative along with your Telangana State Public Service Commission. If you are writing UPSC, please focus on that. We cannot bank upon these type of exams altogether. Overwhelming response to Bharat Gaurav Express train from passengers. So this might be a question. Bharat Gaurav Express train is the train which is connecting between the so-called Gaya Kasi from Hyderabad. So it has started. There is only one train which is running from Secunderabad as of now to Varanasi. Now this is the second train that has started from Secunderabad to Varanasi, and that train is known as Bharat Gaurav Express. Next one. Millet man known as PV Satish is no more. The 77-year-old man, Mr. Satish, he is the millet man because he has championed various social issues such as agro-biodiversity, food sovereignty, women empowerment, social justice, local knowledge systems, participatory development and community media. So he has taken up many issues which are socialistic in orientation, which have some civic sense in its direction. This man has recently passed away. He has led agriculture in a new and innovative way. With the help of his support, the government of Telangana and particularly the government of India has been able to announce millets. International Year of Millets is being celebrated in the year 2023. It is unfortunate to lose this man in the same year where we are celebrating this International Year for Millets. Pradhana Mantri Modi to lay down stone for Secunderabad station upgradation in the coming month. So Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister of the country, is coming to Secunderabad and the preparations are underway. 1000-year-old temple at Chirukuru is in a decrepit state, which means it is in a dilapidated state, which is about, it has given some cracks. So this shows that it required some innovations. Now, what is this temple architecture? This might be useful in your culture. As far as the temple architecture is considered, it is Rashtrakuta style of architecture. Rashtrakutas, the earliest rulers of the Deccan, have built it. So it is almost 1000-year-old temple. So in this context, look at Rashtrakutas and Rashtrakuta style of architecture. Next one. So some local news. Next, Singareni Collieries Company Limited is said to be net zero by 2024. What is net zero? The amount of carbon dioxide that it is emitting will be consumed or will be ensured that it will not be released outside. It will be processed inside the company itself, and hence there will be net zero emissions. Net zero emissions means there will be emissions, but that emissions will be cleaned off by the agency itself. Next one, Sangeeta Kalanidhi Award was given to Bombay Jayashree, and she is the Carnatic vocalist. Bombay Jayashree, she received Sangeeta Kalanidhi. Now, in this context, look at Carnatic music versus Hindustani music, and then there is one more award known as Sangeeta Kalanidhi Award was given to them, and Nritya Kalanidhi Award. Nritya Kalanidhi Award was given to Vasanta Lakshmi Narsimhachari. Vasanta Lakshmi Narsimhachari got Nritya Kalanidhi honor. So you can remember both things. This might be useful for your direct questions, Sangeeta Kalanidhi as well as Nritya Kalanidhi. So this was given to Vasanta Lakshmi Narsimha and Carnatic vocalist known as Bombay Jayashree. After this, some good news coming about local governance or how people can innovate themselves to solve their problems. This is the trust in democracy. So you can write them as trust in democracy in your ethics. How the tribals in Mysuru are mobilizing themselves ahead of the upcoming elections in Karnataka. Now, what is this news about? This news is about the so-called the tribals ensuring that the politicians are not listening to their problems. As a result, the tribals themselves, which are around 30,000 members, they are trying to enter into politics and solve their own problems. This is one best way of constitutional resolution. If you have some problems, constitution gives you some ways to solve that problem. One way is participate. Now, what their struggle is for? Their struggle is to get their rights as per the Forest Rights Act of 2006. Next, AP witnessed heavy rainfall. This was seen even in Telangana. So slept to India-China border tranquility. Slow steps to India-China border tranquility. Now, this is about how India and China is engaging in the borders. Recently, we have seen that a new modus operandi has started between India and China in order to solve their disputes. Now, why these disputes has occurred? Recently, we have seen in June 2020, 20 Indian deaths and 4 Chinese soldiers were dead at Galwan clash. And in the 2022, at Angzi area, Sino-Indian clash has happened. These are the two fresh focal points that has happened since 1975. Given in this context, there has been some working mechanisms that government of India and Chinese government started doing. So through a constant dialogue, they are resolving the disputes between India and China. What are the mechanisms? Working mechanism for consultation and coordination. WMCC is one thing, and there are 5 points of dispute. Through their patience negotiations, they have solved almost 3 disputes and 2 are still pending. Maybe this might be a good way to go and disengage our conflicts at a very higher scale. Next one, moving forward with a newer concept of universal health coverage. No, so this is not that great. Just only one point that India and both have called for some delimitations or something called de-escalation of tensions in the borders. Moving forward with a new concept of universal health coverage, a very good article to read in today's Hindu. Now the author speaks about something like universal health coverage and whether India has this or not. What do you mean by universal health coverage? Free health cover for all the people at primary healthcare sector, at secondary healthcare sector and tertiary healthcare sector. In India, primary healthcare sector has been revamped with health and wellness centers. In the secondary and tertiary healthcare centers, Pradhana Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana was launched. Through this, insurance is provided and the lower class people, that is below poverty line people, is getting some relief, but not it is universal. Hence, it is against the doctrines of universal health coverage. So, in order to have universal health coverage, it is very important to understand the exact meaning of WHO's health. What is health? It is not only the well-being of the physical body, but it is the mental as well as social well-being of an adult or of a human being. So health is physical, social and mental well-being of the person. Altogether, this requires a dramatic change in our discussion towards health. Now, if you want all these together, a number of aspects has to be considered, such as Poshan Abhiyan, National Security, National Food Security, Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act, Water Sanitation, Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan has to be working in tandem to achieve the universal health coverage, but just focusing on Jan Arogya Bima Yojana for certain sections of communities is not going to solve the problem. Next, playing with fire. This is coming in context of the so-called Brahmapuram landfall. Right, we have already seen enough on this. So why these fire accidents are happening, how we can overcome, these are the things that they have discussed, not that relevant. Spectre of stagflation. Only one thing is important: India and the globe is about to go into stagflation. Why it is going to go? Because there is a spell of core inflation which is very high. Core inflation is the inflation which is head inflation minus fuel and food. So if you are minusing that, you are going to get core inflation. RBI has raised its benchmark interest rate recently from the last May, but still core inflation is not under control. Now the question is, what is stagflation? Stagflation is, it is an economic cycle characterized by slow growth, high unemployment rate and high inflation. So jobs are not there because there is no demand. As a result, there is no growth and there is high inflation. So people are losing those jobs. So what causes stagflation? Decreased growth, increased inflation, unemployment increases. A combination of this is called stagflation, very important for prelims. This is the only question that they might ask. After this, you do not have much relevance information. Just quickly go to this. Adani stocks. Again, there is some news about it. One good news to be read again is Japan Prime Minister Kishida is visiting India today. We all know that Japan is holding G7 presidency this year. India is holding G20 presidency. In this context, this is going to be very crucial. No need to read this. Just remember that he is visiting. This is going to be some editorials on this. Khalistani protesters take down tricolour in London, tricolour flag at London. This is something worrying tendency which is happening in the country as far as Khalistani forces are considered. Now, background radiation is higher in Kerala, but no risks, says the study. Now, what is radiation? Radiation results from disintegration of nucleus of an unstable element, and these can be from anywhere, including inside our bodies to the constituent matter. Gamma rays are a kind of radiation that can pass unobstructed through the matter. Hence, they are extremely energized. They can harm if they are present in a lump sum. Now, what is the acceptable levels of gamma radiations? It should not exceed 1 millisievert. Remember this term, sievert every year. Now, this in Kochi we are seeing around 0.8 millisieverts a year. Now, why these radiations are increasing? Because of the monozytic sands that are high in thorium are the result of this. Now, thorium reserves are found in monozytic sands. As a result, this is going to be a cause for high radiation, which is going to be a bit worrying thing. Putin visits Mariupol in his first trip to an occupied territory. Now, we all know that there is a Russia-Ukraine war. So those who are preparing for prelims this year, Ukraine is must. You should know the borders of Ukraine, and along with this, you should know Baltic Sea. You should know the Sea of Azov, along with the so-called Atlantic Sea, in connection with Black Sea. So please have a look at all these things in map pointing. They might ask the questions. Now, where is this Mariupol? Mariupol is the port city. It is on the banks of Sea of Azov. Now, he has visited this. Already we know that in the year 2014, Russia has annexed this land, Crimea. Now they are annexing this. So this is going to be a major key seaport for Russia to enter into Ukraine. Next. So only these things you have some access to facilities and basic IT skills. Recently there was multiple indicator survey of NSS. This data can be used in answer writing. Please have a look at it. In India, only 33% of people are getting drinking water to their homes. So they are walking a very long distance to get their water. Clean fuel. Over 33% of people are using firewood even after Pradhan Mantri Saubhagya Yojana. Almost in India, 15,000 or 15% of people for every 1 lakh are in debt crisis. AC positions, only 5% of the Indian households have ACs. Spreadsheet skills, they have only 6%. And then in the copy and paste, you have 25% skills. And then you have something called in search of jobs, there is huge migration in the country. So it says that almost 14% of people are living in search of jobs. And then the last one is piped drinking water. Only 90, almost 30, only 35% of people have tried to drinking water. We hope that this has to change after Jal Jeevan Mission, urban and rural component in the country. So these are the things that you have. And the last component is a personal one, late life depression. So if you are having some old age people around you, please take care of their biological, psychological and social needs. How you can overcome their problems of this through psychotherapy, medications, brain stimulation, family therapy. So family therapy is going to be very important for people who are becoming aged. So this is the one that we have in the current affairs. Thanks for joining. Have a great day.